Thank you for joining me today. I'm here with Jill Smeltzer, the Director of Counseling here at Emory Henry College. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Good to have you on again because you were here last year. But this year we're going to talk a little bit about stress. So why is this time of year so stressful for people?
There are different reasons, and I think people have multiple sometimes issues related to stress during the holidays. It may be due to being with family and family who are coming in from all parts of the country staying with them, or family who they're displaced from and not able to see. Also, sometimes people have holiday grief and loss issues that can create stress. There's also sometimes too much activity, or for some people maybe not enough, when they're seeing people who are celebrating and they have no loved ones, or they may feel lonely or alone, and others may be too overstimulated, so it can be a combination.
Now, some stress is healthy, but when you get stressed out, you can actually have negative side effects. So tell me a little bit about what can happen if you get too stressed.
Too much stress can affect the immune system, and it can cause problems either physically or emotionally. Too much stress can trigger depression with some persons. The wintertime especially is hard for some people, even just the whole factor that our light is different in the winter, especially in this part of the country, and in seasons where we notice seasonal affective disorders and issues with people, so that can be a problem too. So stress can lead to symptoms and problems with anxiety, depression. It can also lead to problems, as I said earlier, physical headaches, migraines, and sometimes physical symptoms too that may be, ulcers sometimes can activate during that time. So it can lead to a lot of different things.
Now, what are some things that people can do to avoid stress? Things they can do now so that they don't get stressed out come Christmas and holiday time?
I think planning and preparing and planning time just for to take time for yourself, taking time to relax, maybe planning to walk with a friend. That might be a way to catch up with a friend and spend some time with them during the holidays. But it could also, as the old saying goes, it can kill two birds with one stone. You know, they can relieve some stress that way. Also looking at ways to eat healthy. We are also faced with lots of different food. I mean, from Thanksgiving on, it seems like the traditions in this part of the country are based with food, including on a college campus. So being aware of what you eat and drinking lots of water. Also avoiding too much alcohol and too much other, sometimes people increase their smoking during this time, or they'll increase drinking, and being aware of that as well, because that also can lead to more stress down the road.
All right, now it's almost exam time here on campus, and students, I'm sure, are already freaking out. I know I am, but kind of tell me a little bit about how you deal with students right before exams.
Well, we try to work with students in a proactive way and helping students look at pacing. You know, I'm going to give you one of these, a stress ball. That's kind of a metaphor, too, of taking time for yourself, looking at ways to kind of squeeze stress out. But also we offer stress management fairs. We have one that will be on Monday, December the 7th from 5 to 7:30. We have hired a massage therapist who will be there to give free back massages to persons who sign up for that. We have an art therapist, music therapist who's coming in. So we have different people from the community who help us provide stress management fair for students to help educate them on different ways they can relieve stress. We have a beading table that students can just pick up from a smorgasbord of different things that they can do.
And they can pick up one of these.
They can pick up one of those, exactly. And also handouts on ways to deal with going home for the first time. Some students that live far away, maybe their first time going home since they've been here in the fall, or even the second time if they went home for Thanksgiving, and just being on your own and then going home can be stressful. You're not used to all the rules and all.
All right, now when you're talking about students going home, a lot of people don't realize, and we actually have a lot of a big freshman class, and they don't realize that going home is actually going to increase their stress level. It's not just exams. So tell me a little bit about that, and how you can go home and stay calm while you're there.
Well, I think talking to parents maybe before you come home with what are the expectations. Certainly if you're used to staying out late at night and you go home and you expect to have the same lifestyle, that may be different rules when you go home. Just preparing as much as you can with having communication and talking about what's expected, and also being able to look at ways to be able to get out and, as I said earlier, and take care of yourself while you're at home. Talking to friends, reconnecting. Sometimes some students report to me that they're more bored when they go home, and they have to look at ways to entertain themselves because they've been so used to doing more here. Or it can be vice versa. It can be that at home it's just a lot going on. So I think looking at every individual is going to be different, but again, communication with family, preparing as much as you can to have some stress management plan. We try to work with students with that at the Powell Resource Center, especially if they have a family system where they're worried about going home. Parents may have just recently separated or divorced. That can be a challenge. Who to go stay with, who to live with, how much time to spend with one family or the other. That can create a lot of stress.
Absolutely. So give me some just quick tips for students who are about to start exams on how to stay healthy and control their stress levels.
One of the big things is sleep. I think really making sure they do not pull all-nighters, try to start now with their sleep hygiene. That's one of the biggest factors that contributes to depression. It also, I think, contributes quite a bit to one's GPA, too, as far as if they're not sleeping, it's probably going to bring their grades down some. Also avoiding too much alcohol, also avoiding situations where they may be feeding their feelings with food and maybe eating too much. Just watching diet, exercise, lots of water. Those are things that I think can be helpful. And talking about the stress, looking at fun things to do.
Right, and talking about stress, you work with the Powell Resource Center here on campus, and that's definitely a service that, is so essential to students here, and a lot of people don't take advantage of it. But tell me a little bit about what the Powell Resource Center can offer students, especially, now when it starts to get really stressful.
One of the things we can offer quite a bit. One of the things we can offer too is individual counseling as well as time management skills. That's a big one I didn't mention earlier that sometimes can be helpful to people. We can offer ways, and some students who may have accommodations can also take tests there. Not every student, but students who have special needs. We offer individual counseling. It may just be a one-time counseling session, or if they may want to schedule several sessions. We can also see people if they just drop by. We'll try to work them in if we can. If not, we can at least try to get them in within the next day or so. So we do see a large number of students, especially this time of year. And it's helpful to call ahead for an appointment if possible, but we certainly do welcome walk-ins if they need to come in.
All right. Well, again, with the stress fair coming up on Monday, we want to definitely tell everyone to make sure that they stop by. Now, tell me a little bit again about some of the things that they're going to be able to do there to relieve their stress.
We have added more this year, and there's one that I'm not familiar with, so you have to come and figure what this one means. One is finger knitting, and a student introduced that to us, that it relieves her stress, so we asked her to come and teach students how to do that. But apparently you can make a scarf with your fingers with yarn, so you have to come and find that one out. We're also going to have decorate your own cookies. So, ladies and guys, come in and decorate your own cookie and learn how to make one of those for the holidays. Humor table. We have lots of funny DVDs and fun things, and people are going to be juggling. And art table with beading and crafts and clay. So that's for anyone to participate. And we really excited this year. We've added I think we're going to have a nutrition table with a nutritionist this year to talk about healthy foods and ways to prepare snacks in your room for the holidays. So.
Well, that's very helpful. And you can also pick up one of these, the little happy face stress ball like I have. But thank you so much for coming on today, and I hope that this helped out the students and community members who are getting stressed out in the holidays. But now we're going to check in with Zach Hupp for the Inside Scoop on one of WEHC's most interesting shows.